it is about that time again for us to have another session of podcasting. Today, it will be hosted by me, myself, Joel, and my good friend, Justrene. Justrene?
Uh, in more than a week or so, we're going to be celebrating Imlek, or as most of you know it, Chinese New Year. And as we all know about the current situation, we are unable to join our families and friends with Chinese New Year. So there's one thing that we're especially missing out on Chinese New Year, and that's not just the alcohol, nor is it the family. It's the food. Especially for me, the food in Chinese New Year has always been the best, and it's always been enjoyable to eat them with our friends and family. So that's why we decided that today our topic will be about food.
Today with us, we have two guests. The first one being Juan. Now, a little introduction on Juan. I first met them in first or second grade. I must admit, when I was little, I was quite the chubby child. I loved food. I
Nerd.
loved watching food. I loved eating food, but there was not many people who I would be able to talk with about food. Juan was one of those people, and ever since we become better friends, we like to we like to recommend different restaurants to each other. Is that right, Juan?
Yes.
As for our second guest, it's Ethan. He's the power eater himself.
Excuse me?
So Ethan, so we have this basketball group, right? And so we would like to go to restaurants eat together as a whole. And Ethan one of those people challenge the whole group to eat as many as possible. Ethan challenged himself to eat as many racks of meat in shaburi, and being the person he is, he wouldn't be the one to be wasting them all. So in return, we would cook as many meats as possible and have him finish it all.
Oh, that one. No, you just dumped the ball on my plate. You did nothing wrong. Not to mention you put a whole tub of salt in my thing.
It was delicious, wasn't it, Ethan?
I think I gave him to Kyle.
He ate it all, that's why he's kind of chubby now.
So to
I'm
break
pretty
the
sure I gave
ice,
him to Kyle.
before our official start the official start of this podcast, I would like to introduce our first
What?
segment, which is hot potato. So how this will work is that we will collectively decide on a cuisine, and you must all name a dish from that cuisine, and the last one surviving is the winner.
I like Papua
So
New Guinea
what are we
cuisine.
thinking, boys?
Papua New Guinea. I
So
like
it's
it.
like we're going to like pass around food names until someone can't name food, is it?
Yep. Chinese food.
Because Chinese food is like there's a lot of food and they're not variants like for like Italian there's like pizza and pasta, there's like 500 types of pasta, but like there's like a lot of different types of food as in they're different.
Pick a cuisine that you know the most about.
Chinese.
Okay, Ethan, what about you?
Yes.
Okay, Chinese it is then. So it will start from Justrine, since he's our host.
So we'll be
Ethan,
passing
then
around food
Juan, and
name.
it'll repeat.
Okay, I'm gonna start. 3 seconds, okay? 3, 2, 1. Xiao Long Bao.
Okay, Juan. Now,
Pei-
Justrine, it's your turn.
Bao Bao.
About Ethan.
What else other than cat?
Okay, let's say that Ethan's eliminated. Yeah.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Juan versus Justrine. The winner will get a prize.
Wait, what is it?
Fries.
Okay,
Other than cat.
Okay, Justrine.
Beijing ya.
Huh? That's
Beijing ya.
Juan.
Hapak.
Okay, Juan.
Hamsi
Hey,
ko.
Justrine.
Hamsi
Juan.
ko.
Kuote.
Shark fin soup.
Turtle soup.
Mango pudding.
Chicken and crab soup.
Babi hong.
Roasted.
Samchan.
Can you count rice as Chinese?
Roast chicken.
Roast duck.
Hainan chicken.
Hainan chicken is Singaporean.
No, Hainan chicken actually originates from like
It's
region
Hainan,
in
Justrine.
Hainan.
Hainan's a region.
Ew, wait, what? Okay, mapo tofu.
Mm,
Ooh.
Harpo.
Udang goreng saus mayonnaise.
Even Chinese.
Ikan tim.
That's Chinese, right? I eat it at Chinese restaurants. It's included.
Yeah.
I thought ikan malas.
Ramen.
Are you searching these up?
Okay. Mi ulang tahun pada udang.
Chakwe.
What's that? The noodles that's like long and then there's like jahan.
Apa sih?
Japan's
Chaufan.
Japanese.
Chaufan.
Okay.
Chow
Fried
fun.
rice,
Chaufan.
basically.
Oh, okay. Chow mein fried noodles.
Fried noodles. Sweet and sour pork.
Kue goreng.
Kwetiao. Kwetiau siram.
Wah, pintar banget ini anaknya. So smart lah, so smart. Wintermelon soup.
Hakau udang.
Gue udah ngomong.
Oh, you did say hakau udang.
Ya.
Okay, Justrene is deemed the loser. Juan is
What?
the winner of this hot potato.
Thank you.
Okay,
No,
so
he's teasing.
whether we like it or not, food and family are two words that, although very different in meaning, are very intertwined and connected in very many ways. Our fondest memories often link these two words together, and they make up most of our childhood. Actually, so do you guys have any stories about your relationships between food and family?
I remember breaking the whole egg thing. It was Pog. They never let me near the kitchen for a few years.
How about this, Juan? What do you eat? What do you usually eat in Chinese New Year?
It depends on my family. Kalau kan kayak for my mom's side, I usually eat like dim sum and then like with some crab and then with some like pork like char siu or like roast pork. Juga ada kayak pecing duck. Tapi dari my dad's side, it's like we eat like a traditional course with like that kayak that ting and then you spin the salad ting.
Oh, you mean the
Oh,
wok?
the one that you
The
toss it up
wok.
in the air and then you.
The
they
wok.
fall.
Yang kayak toss in the air kan kayak gitu.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
also we often eat
Angkau,
like,
Raj.
and like sama apa ya? Sama cakwe banyak.
Usually you eat dim sum in the morning, yeah. Like when it's hot and steaming, you eat it fresh. That's the time of the day.
Yeah.
Like usually kaya for dim sum for myself, yeah, or for my family, I would like go early in the morning, kinda, because it is usually at that time that they finish cooking it, so you get the best flavor possible from. So there isn't any potential wasted. So it tastes as good as it could be. Yeah.
Tapi kalau with my family sih, we usually like eat dim sum at like 11 or 10 because we're too lazy to like wake up at like 8 or like 7 like that.
What kind of dim sum dishes do you eat, Juan?
Kayak for me kayak siomay itu yang paling konsisten deh kayak gitu. So
It's
pasti
the
ada kayak
standard,
siomay,
yeah.
pasti ada kayak hako, pasti ada kayak chongfan, habis itu ada juga kayak wonton is not really dim sum, but I just have wonton. There's also like a lot of xiaolongbao, and there's like juga ada kayak kan kayak roti, habis itu roti panggang, habis itu dalamnya kayak the thing on the
char siu pork.
yes, char siu bun, and then like there's also fried rice as well.
The thing, like personally, I like chong fan because you have like different options. For example, inside you could have the crispy version with the chakwe, or you could have char siu pork within it. Sometimes they will give you shrimp in it, and you have that soy sauce drizzled all over it. What about you,
guys
Ethan?
eat this only at like a certain time of the year or what?
Depends. For me, whenever my grandparents come back to Jakarta, then we will eat out together. What about you, Ethan?
Rice with salt is pretty neat.
Oh yeah.
I really can't remember what I eat for Chinese New Year, dude.
Wait,
But you go and visit your family and stuff?
Thank you for yourself.
You visit your family and
No,
stuff?
I call that ang pao hunting.
Oh.
Understandable. So is
For
there
me,
like a
Chinese. Well, okay, so for me, like Chinese New Year isn't like really special because all the angpao goes to my parents. But I guess it's like the only time of the year that I can actually eat with my parents and sisters, so it's kind of special also.
speaking of cooking, what experiences do you have with cooking? How about you, Juan?
Um, egg and then like Indomie itu kan kayak Indomie goreng bisa kayak wah 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 and then like egg so means like kayak sunny side up and then like I eat and then I sleep. Yeah,
You could never go wrong with that combination, right?
yes, exactly.
How about you, Ethan?
My sister nearly burned down the house once. She mistook a microwave for an oven, so she put fried rice inside the microwave for 15 minutes.
Amazing.
15 minutes.
It felt like burnt fried rice for a whole week. And then I've always been better at cooking. So I'm always cooking stuff for her when mom's not home. She doesn't know how to boil water. She always like, and then whenever she boils water, she forgets to drain it before she puts it in the frying pan. Put the sausage in the frying pan. So you're supposed to boil it, then you put it in the frying pan, right? But she forgot to drain the water, so she poured a lot of the water inside the oiled frying pan, and the whole kitchen was filled with smoke. So I had to turn off the stove and like fan the whole thing out. But me myself, I'm a professional cook. I can cook
Wow.
udon.
A professional cook, you say?
Udon. You can never go wrong with udon. Except everything else. Any applauses?
Not to flex, but I can pour hot water to pop me and instantly make it. No, just not to flex or anything.
So it happens that right now it's my turn to host a game, and I prepared a quiz for you all. So Joel, you don't know the answers for this, so you can join. So as you know,
Okay,
like
so basically, just explain what it is first. Explain
so
what
in
it
the
is
world,
first.
there are so many types of cuisines. For example, Mexican food, Chinese food, like we did before, right? So I prepared 9 questions, 9 descriptions about a certain cuisine, and one of you have, and you have to answer it correctly. So you just have to say the name of the cuisine. What? And so to keep it fair, when you say a cuisine, you're not allowed to say another one unless the other two have answered something. So it doesn't look like a machine gun. I prepared 3 to 4 hints for every one of these. So think carefully because you'll be giving a chance for the opponent if you. So for the first cuisine, the first clue, the main.
So what is the order? What is the order?
You guys can say a crazy, and then the first one will say correctly will win. I will get
Okay.
it.
You want very cool.
Thank you.
But you're not allowed to say like many words at once. Therefore, if you say one cuisine, you have to wait until the other two say something, or they can choose to hear other clues. So if you miss one, it's a disadvantage. Okay, get it?
Okay.
For the first cuisine, the main ingredients used in this cuisine includes beans, rice, and limes.
Somewhere on South Africa, America.
I'm saying Brazil.
Yes.
It could be from Mexico or like some other place. But I don't know.
You want to guess now?
Beans.
What are we thinking, boys? You want to do a clue?
I'm pretty sure isn't this free for all?
Is this a cook?
Yeah, it's a
I
free
want-
roll. Okay.
Wait,
Fine.
wait,
First,
wait,
second clue. The second clue is this cuisine can be described as a blend of many different cultures.
So somewhere that has lots of influence. Yeah.
I know.
Can you repeat the first clue?
The main ingredients include beans, rice, and lime.
Beans, rice, and lime. Spanish.
Okay, Joel got it wrong. You two want to guess?
Loser.
Okay, third clue. It uses spices, seasonings, and vibrant colors, and is very appealing to the eye.
Indian?
No? Do you want to guess? Or do you want to go to the last clue?
Last clue.
It focuses a lot on the presentation, so it's about how the food looks.
Presentation, bean.
Indonesian?
Okay, and in addition to the first clue,
That sounds
the main
right.
ingredients are bean, rice, limes, and chili.
Indonesian.
No, Indonesia doesn't eat a lot of beans. That's true.
They don't eat that much beans,
Silence
really-
French.
Mexican.
Oh, Juan, you got it correct. It's Mexican. Okay. This cuisine focuses more than taste, but it also appeals to the sight and the smell.
So more, I'd say more with kaya herbs, more with
Some
spices.
spices. Yeah.
Mm.
Oh,
It-
the amount.
Amazing.
It's a cuisine with the most variety of ingredients. And it's a collection of cooking styles from many different regions of the country.
Indonesia.
No.
Nerd.
I think.
French.
Sure. Huh? What did you
French.
say? No. Ethan,
No.
you want to answer?
Next hint.
No.
Okay, so I guess everyone gives up. This is Chinese food.
No.
Thank you.
Moving on to the next question. This cuisine has a very, very strong taste.
Indian. Oh.
Okay, that's correct.
Loser.
Okay. 1 point to Juan and 1 point to Ethan. This cuisine has minimal
Like
carbohydrates. It focuses on meats, vegetables, and beans.
America?
America's potatoes.
Yeah,
No, that's
Potatoes.
Irish. But no, but can we just count Irish as a whole cuisine made entirely out of potatoes?
yes.
But the clue would be potatoes, and it'll be way too easy. Anyway, the second clue is if there are carbohydrates in this cuisine, it will be bread.
Repeat the stream.
If there is carbohydrates in this cuisine, it must be bread.
French.
No.
Like,
And this is the biggest clue. This cuisine is a heritage from an ancient empire that once resided from the land.
America.
An ancient empire.
Greek.
Everyone gives up.
Can I say
hold
it
on.
one more time?
It is a heritage from an ancient empire that once resided there.
Oh.
England is my city.
The British Empire wasn't that big as it was at the 1500s,
Yeah.
1500s. Okay, so does everyone give up?
Afghanistan.
What?
She said Afghanistan.
It's Turkish food.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of the Ottoman Empire?
Oh yeah.
The Ottoman Empire had really good food, and the kebabs and stuff. They passed it down to the Turkish food.
That's right, kebabs.
Oh yeah. They're like big.
Okay, next question. Everything
the
in
last.
this cuisine is seasoned in one way or another.
Hmm.
Therefore, nothing is plain.
Oh, so it's over seasoned.
South
But
Indian.
it's like a harmony also, right? Most meals in this cuisine include soup.
Soup. When you said
wait.
soup, I was thinking of a more creamy soup rather than the typical Asian soup, the clear
What kind
soup.
of soup? Is it like fat or is it like not fat?
Okay, this is the last clue. You can describe eating this cuisine as small bites of different foods in one meal.
Japanese.
French.
Japanese. Soup. You had miso soup with everything, and you have soy sauce
Exactly.
and everything.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Of it.
So
On to the
that,
next
that
question.
concludes the quiz, actually. So Ethan, congratulations, you won. You got praise.
What do I win?
Good job. Right after the quiz, we have another interesting section coming up. Actually, it's about this what we call opinion wars. So I'm going to be saying
Why
some
can't I leave?
topics and some opinions. So you guys will have to take sides and debate why you stand on that side. Actually. So what is the best meat? Pork, meat, or chicken? Pork, beef, or chicken?
Yeah.
Pork.
That's the best one.
It tastes like pork.
Yeah, true.
Say beef karna.
Yeah,
Like, here's the thing with beef, yeah, in my opinion. Beef has the thing with beef is that they scale it based on their quality, right? You have Kobe, you have Wagyu, whereas
Hanwoo.
initial
Pork is the best. Pork is the best, Nana. Because if you talk about beef having many different scales, that means you're saying that there's bad beef and there's good beef. When you add pork, there's no good quality pork, there's bad quality pork, but it's about the condiments that goes with it, and it always matches with the pork. Like talk about tonkatsu ramen, tonkatsu don,
Yes.
No, honestly, pork, you could never go wrong with pork. But what makes beef better than it is that beef provides you with different stages of quality rather than
Beef
pork.
has potential to be better than pork, but
Exactly.
it's more balanced.
Like for example, for
potential to be worse than pork because there's bad quality beef.
No, but you
tapi
can choose, right?
but we're talking about kaya best meat though.
But beef is better than pork.
Because
No,
like
pork.
the best kind of pork is basically the kurobuta, like the Japanese kurobuta, the black pigs, or you could go for the Ibericos, which is very costly.
But they all when it comes down to the condiments and stuff, they all taste the same. You can get the cheapest pork and it tastes like the best quality pork, except for probably the small changes in texture and stuff. But that's why you can enjoy that anytime, no matter what economic class you are.
Which
Okay,
is the most underrated cuisine? I'd say uh I'd say
the most
Brazil. Brazil does really good with their meat. They're very good
Oh,
with their meat.
Brazilian has pineapples in their steaks, right?
Mm.
And then they like kebab it, and they're just gonna put it down.
Pineapple steaks?
No, pineapples release like a kind of enzymes that will break down the protein bonds.
Bro, I
That'll
watch
make it
Hulu
more
Foods.
tender.
And also, was it tomahawk steak like originally from Brazil? Tomahawk is really good.
They made it popular, I think.
Food.
Juan, have you tried the Brazilian restaurant in I forgot there's this one Brazilian restaurant in Jakarta.
Yeah, it's like
Di Senayan City kan? Sensi.
Ada satu di sana ya.
I think di Sensi deh, tapi I'm not sure. Kan kayak all you can eat bisa kayak beberapa.
and also I'm talking about how about Swiss food? Swiss food includes chocolate, cheese, fondues, and stuff.
But you
Choc-
sick of cheese if there's like too much. If you eat cheese like every day, then that's the thing.
They're very light. But in terms of chocolate, Belgium wins. So
Swiss chocolate is better than Belgian. I'm saying
Belgium, I'd say Belgium is better.
Swiss. No, because Swiss they had the creamy texture, and Belgian is more the dark chocolate thing.
Mm.
And the dark chocolate thing is like too heavy, don't you think?
I'd say so. Now,
Okay.
let's talk about food's impact on society. They're using food as more of a industry on its own. So
The
they
food
would
industry.
it's a source of income for them.
And we all know who's the head of the food industry, the entertainment section. I think it's Gordon Ramsay.
They have those cooking shows. Juan, do you watch them?
Yes.
What do you think of them?
I watch them to sleep. They're very fun to watch.
They're very fun. They'll make you starve until you sleep. Ethan, I think Ethan's internet died, but that's
Oh,
okay.
he commented us. Thank you for the comment. Thank you so much.
So, anyone has any hot takes about food? For example, any
You can start
unpopular opinions you have about food?
I'd say the Western version of fried chicken is overrated, don't you think?
Oh
I
yeah, like
don't-
the Indonesian fried chicken is actually really really good.
Yeah,
They
English
use more spices.
glorious.
In Central Java, there's like this thing called Warung Kleco and Madukoro. That's like the best ones in Solo.
Yeah, enak.
Oh yeah, we like in this
I
in
can't
this
wait to try
whole podcast we haven't talked about Indonesian food.
Easy.
So what do you think is like the difference between Indonesian food and Western techniques? Like Western food, like what do they do different?
Kalau
I'd say,
Western, they rely on like herbs such as like rosemary and like thyme, but then like for Indonesian, we often use spices such as turmeric and like I don't know, MSG salt.
MSG is a spice.
MSG just salt.
MSG makes everything better though.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd say like for Western countries like let's say Australia or European countries, they rather have the protein quality as its main star. So basically, they would want it to be as fresh as possible, season it as minimally as possible, like salt and pepper. That's it. And so, its freshness is being showcased rather than showcasing spices and other flavors from other different types of ingredients. What do you think, Justin?
Like I think like the best part about Indonesian is that they boil stuff different or they use different ingredients, so it's like a very fresh. For example,
Mm.
if you guys know nasi uduk or nasi lemak, they use coconut milk to cook the
Yeah.
rice. So there's like some kind of a taste within the rice that's like amazing. And there's also nasi kuning, and then what else? Those seasoned rice, those are the best.
Yeah, like for example, if you were to compare with like Chinese cuisine, they would have their rice like plain, right?
Or
I
fried
think
rice.
what makes Indonesia so special is that their attention to detail. So even the rice is a condiment, right? It's a side dish. It's something to fill you up, and the fact that they're flavoring it is quite incredible. What do you think, Juan?
Yes. The tastier the food, the better life will be.
And it's
Rather than
also not
having plain rice.
over
Yeah.
flavored, right? Because most of like the garlic fried rice, those are like over flavored and they always clash with the beef.
Yeah, they're
But
like,
having like the plain, a bit plain, but also a bit seasoned makes it really good.
it's like savory. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing with garlic rice is that it's a dish on its own. Like for
Yeah.
example, garlic fried rice, you eat it on its own. What I'm talking about is like white rice on its own. For example, because a white you cannot eat white rice on its own. Rather, you need to have like a heavy dish beside it to eat alongside it.
No. Like garlic fried rice is always like served in barbecue restaurants. So you eat it with like the meat that you cook like there.
They serve it at the end of the session. That's why to fill you up, gitu.
Oh really?
Yeah, they do. I've been watching a lot of Aiden films.
Oh, Asian films. Yeah.
Aiden Films is a good YouTube channel. So basically, what it does is that he'll provide a first person POV uh eating in a restaurant. That way you can imagine yourself being in his position and eating all those foods.
What do you think is your favorite Indonesian dish then?
Hmm. What personally I love what you call it? Sop ikan batam.
Oh, sop ikan batam.
Oh,
So
soups are good. I also have a soup as my favorite. It's oxtail soup.
hmm.
Oh, sop buntut.
Because if they
So
cook that right, the meat just falls off the bone. So it's like very easy to eat and it's also very soft and also has a lot of flavor, especially in the soup. That's what I really like.
Justin, can you describe more about it for our viewers?
It packs
Okay.
aroma.
So oxtail soup is like they take oxtails, they simmer it so that or something so like they weaken the bond between the meat and the bone. And then when it's like really weak, you can like just pick it off with a spoon, and they eat it with rice and the special soup. And the soup is just I don't know how they make it. It's magical.
They would serve it with like potatoes, carrots, right?
Oh
Huge
yeah,
chunks of
huge
them, right?
chunks of them.
And
Yeah,
then they would pre-boil it before combining them all into one soup. That way, it ensures that each ingredient is soft and tender, falls off the bone, and that is basically what oxtail soup is.
and so like
As
the saliva in your mouth mixes with like the entire your mouthful, and you can crunch. You can like um, crunch it easily, and you can just it goes down really easily. Also, it's really
I
easy on your
agree.
stomach.
As for my favorite dish, the shop ikan batam, it's basically a seafood seafood soup. So basically, they would have these fishes sliced, filleted, and then they have fresh shrimp, squids. So you usually eat it with a side of white rice. But what makes it special is that they'll give you lime to make it salty. So, and not salty, sour. So that way you won't taste the fishiness of the seafoods. I personally love that kind of dish.
Indonesian soups.
What about you,
What's
Juan?
your favorite juice?
Mm, To be honest, my favorite food is actually really simple. It's just kayak nasi goreng because nasi goreng you can find it everywhere. You can find it in dari kayak warung-warung yang kayak kecil out until like a really grand restaurant. It just universal. This dish is like universal, uh, especially the Indonesian type of fried rice. It's just amazing.
It's
Like
a
I
classic
it's
and
everywhere, and you can eat fried rice everywhere.
mm,
I honestly prefer Chinese fried rice rather than Indonesian because it's always like I don't know, lighter.
lighter. Yeah, it depends on taste, but personally, I'd say that Indonesians do it best.
Because Indonesian has like a heavier taste to it, right? I don't really
Mm.
like.
Yeah.
Indonesian people tend to like more sweeter food.
Because they have this special this soy sauce of Indonesia, kecap manis.
Hmm.
It's like from what do they make it from? Like sweet beans,
Basically, soybean. Not soybeans.
Apa ya?
kacang kedelai,
Soya beans, right?
Ya
whatever
itu
it
tuh.
is.
Itu sorry.
Never mind.
And then they're going to like um I don't know,
They're gonna grind it, right? Grind it and then add sugar.
brew.
They'll make it into a syrup.
It's not really thick and goes really well with Indonesian fried chicken.
Mm. It goes well with basically anything. Eggs. You could even eat it with rice. Basically.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh yeah, I remember last time you went to my house and then we cooked the fried egg, remember? And you poured a lot of those ketchup manis inside and it went black. Like
Oh,
I thought it was
yeah.
burnt and you said it was delicious, so I did not believe.
No, it's charred. So basically, you know how sugar caramelizes? Yeah, that's basically caramelization. I guess that should wrap up our podcast. Thank you, Juan, for
Thank you.
for joining our podcast. I
And
hope
shout out to Ethan who quit halfway. You're coming back next time.
God bless his internet connection.
Thank you. Can I go now? I wanna
Okay. So me and Justin will wrap things up right now.
Wait.
For all our viewers, thank you for being here. Thank you for sticking with us, and we hope to see you next time. Goodbye.